Hey, welcome everybody to season 2 of the 7 Minutes to Better Selling podcast. I'm your host, Colin Lake. In season 2, we're going from like the foundational sales process to really how we sell the most important person, which is the person we look at in the mirror every day, meaning how do we sell ourselves to perform at the highest level we can? And so that's what season 2 is all about. And so I think no one better to do that than Kevin Newby. And again, really looking forward to this conversation. So Kevin, you graduate college, University of South Carolina, and you slowly grow in this professional career to where you are today and to a very lofty role doing great things for your clients. How do you go from there to here?
So, Colin, I'm so happy you asked that question. Obviously everyone's story is unique. And I was very fortunate in that growing up, I experienced success, at least to some degree, in several different aspects of life, whether it be success athletically, success academically, socially. But in my teenage years, my life changed very drastically. It was at that time in my life that I tried an opioid drug for the first time. And over the next several years, as my addiction progressed, while I was able to graduate college and enter the professional marketplace, I was burdened with this secret and this constant effort to put band-aids on my life situations. And that can only hold the weight for so long. And due to the disease of addiction, I faced challenges and experienced depths that I never could have foreseen as being a part of my story. But during this time and this struggle of strife, I was very blessed to have the unconditional love and support of some very wonderful people in my corner. And, I think you're well aware that one of those individuals is you, Kyle. And, amidst this turmoil, I was very blessed on October 23rd, 2014. Very humbly, I was given a second chance at life, and I found a life in recovery. And, from a professional scope, as much as I'd like to say that my transition back into a professional setting was seamless, I needed to build a foundation within myself, and I needed to learn who I was again. I needed to learn how to be accountable again. I needed to learn how to show up again. I needed to learn how to set goals and see them through. Initially, my first job was working overnights on a road crew outfit through a frigid Northeast winter. And I was constantly faced with the question, when are you going to step back into the professional environment? And it was a question that I couldn't answer. I didn't know how to. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I could explain the gaps in my resume to a potential employer. I didn't feel like I had real professional experience to lean on, nor did I possess the professional confidence to express why I deserved an opportunity. And I'll never forget the fear that I felt on the first day. Was I worthy of this opportunity? But I promised myself that I was going to put everything I had into this. And my first several months in the role were spent in a more strategic setting. And as I transitioned forward, my next stop was within our sales organization. And needless to say, it was a fit right away. And while the job wasn't glamorous by any means, it allowed me to build a foundational understanding of the marketplace that I was in. I had several incredible mentors that invested in me because I cared. And one would always say to me, I can teach you everything else, but I can't teach you to care.
Great share, by the way. Like, talk about answering that question in a detailed, well-organized, well thought out way. And so like, if you're listening to this, you're saying, oh, now I get what it means to like sell yourself. Like, because, it's one of the things we all challenge, like, we're all challenged with this. Like, I'd like to look better. I'd like to be leaner. I'd like to work out more. I'd like to work harder. I'd like to be the number one salesperson in my organization. Like, we all have those type of things, but it's really hard to convince yourself to do the things that enable you to get to those places. So one of the things that impresses me so much about you, and the thing I'll ask you to share with your listeners, is how do you sell yourself every day to like win that day from the most basic things of keeping your addiction at bay, to like then going out and being an amazing husband, and then going out and being an amazing account executive for this humongous firm that relies so heavily on you? How do you do it? How do you convince yourself to do that?
God, once again, I really love how this question is posed, because this is something we are really called to do, as human beings, as salespeople on a daily basis. First and foremost, from a personal standpoint, and I think this, faith has been the monumental piece for me. It allows me to reflect, to self-assess, allows me to practice humility and gratitude, and remember the path and the people that got me here. And it reminds me it's okay to be fearful. We all have fear in life. I always love the saying, our greatest fear in life should not be failure, but being successful in the things that don't really matter. And my relationship with my faith allows me to assess what really matters. And then in turn, how do I go out that day and achieve this? Colin, early in my career, you pressed this upon me, and I am forever grateful. The mantra, win today. Control the controllables in this 24-hour period. Define your goals for today. Don't worry about the meeting next week. Don't worry about the opportunity next month or next quarter. Stay present yourself. Win the hour, win the conversation, win the client. And this daily commitment is a refusal to lose. And that doesn't mean the results are always positive or a success, but it means I'm always a success in my process. And to win, I need to remind myself that persistency is key, or tasteful aggressiveness, if you will. I'll pick up the phone when sending an email would be easier. I'll win today.
It's a really important point. We're going to wrap this up here, Kev, and I'll give you the last thoughts. But
sure.
So first one is know what to do, which is win today. Know why to do it for the people who like helped you. Like that sounds like that's your why. When you surround yourself with great people, you surround yourself with really good people who care and are living what we believe to be the right way. You tend to just float up to that level, that higher level. So I thought that was a really, really well executed set of thoughts that you shared. And I love your quote. Don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of succeeding in things that don't matter. They weren't your exact words, but boy, that is a power thought. So last thoughts for you, Kevin, then we'll wrap it up.
Sure. And, obviously this is the playbook. I am far from perfect. I failed time and again, but I always try to remain coachable, try to remain hungry, committed to the self-care.
So Kevin, thank you so much for being a guest. Thanks so much for starting out season 2, and good selling, everyone.